Aftermarket frames for Hi-Capas are expensive. That's why when building a Hi-Capa, most of us use a donor gun or a base gun for certain parts, especially the frame. Gunfire is one of my favorite European airsoft stores, and they had this Laylax / 9-ball 7-inch frame with a compensator on discount. For comparison, the most premium frames, such as those from Laycapa Customs, Edge or Dr. Black, are usually well beyond 200 euros. Those are the most precisely CNC machined frames and are guaranteed to be drop-in parts. This is my TM Hi-Capa gold match, or at least it used to be, as almost everything has been changed except for the frame. I just found the 7-inch frame cool and couldn't resist. The TM stock frame is made of zinc alloy, which is heavier than any of the aftermarket aluminium versions. I don't mind if the gun is a bit heavy, though some people do. In Airsoft, the compensator has no other roles besides looking nice, and it is one of the ways to hide a longer inner barrel. The 9-ball frame is aluminium alloy, likely CNC machined for good fit. The product doesn't include the side panel of the frame on the left. You will need an organ donor Hi-Capa for this. Then a few words about this build. The slide here is by Edge, the sealed slide. I usually always do the short stroking with cow buffers. The recoil spring is also cow. The guide plug is probably a Laycapa Customs, I think. This outer barrel is the Edge Hexa. It's steel, it does some nice weight increase. The inner barrel is a standard length precision barrel, so that the FPS doesn't increase too much for a CQB field. The hop-up chamber is the cow new generation TDC. The grip is by cow. It was a black plastic grip, but I spray painted it. Some of the parts have the heat gradation or rainbow color, like these screws, and those just look nice on anything, not too milsim. The rest of the small exteriors are from TM Gold Match, and for example the slide catch is cheap 5KU. I have been shooting this thing a lot, mainly target shooting at the forest range, then in regular airsoft, both indoors and outdoors, and now I have started some action air practicing. That's very difficult, and I'm likely to stick 90% with airsoft. I like it when the targets shoot back at you. Now I have extracted the frame side panel, and then we need the other parts of the trigger mechanism, the disconnector, sear, hammer and the strut. I cut out the scenes where I clean and lubricate the moving parts. For metal on metal surfaces, I used the decked gun sub-lubricant. This is the trident, also known as the sear spring in the real steel called M1911. Here make sure that the middle leaf is positioned over the lower rear part of the sear and the right leaf is similarly positioned over the disconnector. At this point I noticed the first flaw of this frame. The rails are too thick and the slide cannot be installed. I tried the Edge slide, Armorer Works slide and even the Marui plastic slide. For the stock frame, the distance between the inside edges of the rails is 1.25 centimeters, and from the outer edges of the rails it's 1.5 centimeters. For the 9-ball frame, the same measurements are 1.4 and 1.8 centimeters, so no wonder it was too tight. After some shaving and thinning of the metal rails, I was finally able to fit the slide. But it's still too tight and there is unnecessary friction. Again had to do some work with the file. Then another problem occurred. The hammer sometimes gets caught under the slide. I had never encountered this kind of issue before, so I consulted the Hi-Capa expert Marco, who identified the problem, the sear. It doesn't rotate freely because in the 9-ball frame the hole where the sear's axle is inserted is too tight, which disrupts the sear's rotation. I replaced the sear with one that happened to be a better fit and the problem disappeared. Here you can see the sections of the frame rails that I thinned down. These areas were later polished to eliminate any rough contact points. One 1.06, 1.03, 1.01, 0.96, 0.96, 0.947. With the compensator attached, it's not possible to use a tracer, as the compensator has no threads for an adapter. However, if a tracer is really needed, the gun still looks great without the compensator, as the long rail gives it an aggressive appearance. To summarize the pros and the cons. If you are looking for a 7-inch frame, the options are quite limited. The 9-ball frame falls into the mid-range price category. The cheapest option is 5KU, and then there are the premium frames like Laylax Customs and Dr. Black. Those are the most expensive and guaranteed to be drop-in frames. Based on this product, I wouldn't consider 9-ball as a premium brand, as premium frames should not require filing or thinning down the metal parts. They should be drop-in ready. So for those who are not comfortable doing modification work, premium frames may be a better choice. On the plus side, the Picatinny rails are always nice. You never know when your Hi-Capa might need a grenade launcher, for example. The gun also looks good without a compensator, and without it, a tracer can be used. However, I didn't like the decision to exclude the frame side panel, so essentially you need an existing Hi-Capa frame to be the organ donor. So, in a summary, is the 9-ball 7-inch frame worth it? Yes, especially if you find it on discount like me, and especially when you are ready to take the risk that it is not a drop-in slide and expect to do some work with it.